Hello Uplanders, today we're going to be talking about sends. I'm YK2012, the founder of the Upland Guide. Today I'm going to show you how to collect sends, what they're used for, and lots of misconceptions around them. Before I go into all the intricacies and how many sends you can hold at any given time, it's a little bit of a complex issue. I'm first going to show you how to collect a send. So what you're looking for on the map are these paper airplanes. Within those paper airplanes, you can collect anywhere from 2 to 6 sends in any given airplane. Now you can see here that you have to be zoomed in to a specific resolution where you can see the properties in order to actually see the sends. So you can see here that at this resolution I won't be able to see any sends. So it's important to make sure that you're zoomed in when you're looking for them. The next thing is how close you have to be to the send in order to get it. So as a rule of thumb, I give myself about 6 or 7 properties on each side of the send, depending on how big the properties are, for myself to send them to and still be in range. And I'm going to click on the property card, and the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the send fee. So the send fee is here above the address of 40 UPEX. In Chicago, the minimum and maximum send fees are 20 to 100 UPEX. So I'm going to not look too much, but I'm going to choose this one, which is 40, which is the default. And I'm going to go ahead and click send over here in order to send my Explorer over here. Now it's going to ask me if I'm sure I want to use 40 UPEX, as well as it's going to tell me how many sends I have left. So you don't want to get into a situation where you're completely out of sends. Then it will be very difficult for you to find another one if you are urgently looking for one. I'll get into how to replenish your sends in a few minutes here, but now I've sent myself over to this property, and I can go ahead and click on this paper airplane, and it will tell me that I have collected 2 sends. So now if I want to see exactly how many sends I have, I can click on my Block Explorer, click on the paper airplanes over here, and I can see that I have 5 sends. It's also important to note that if you send yourself to your own property, it does not cost you the visiting fee, and it also does not cost you a send. Before I get into explaining how many sends you can hold at any given time, the important question is, why do we actually need sends? There are 5 primary things that you can do in Upland that requires the use of sends. The first one is to discover properties in order to mint them. Take a look at the link in the upper right hand corner to see a video on how to discover properties and mint them. The second one is to collect more sends. This is what I showed you just a moment ago. The third thing that you need to be able to do with sends is to visit a MetaVenture or an NFLPA store or stadium. MetaVentures are businesses that have yet to come out yet. This video was created on December 17th, 2021, so hopefully they will be coming soon. But in order to send yourself to any type of store or any other property, you would need to use a send. The fourth step is to travel to a terminal or an airport in order to send yourself to another city. And once again, in the upper right hand corner, you can see a link on how to send yourself between cities in Upland. The fifth reason to use sends is to search for a treasure. In treasure hunting, you have to send yourself to different properties on the map, following clues given to you by Upland in order to find a treasure. These treasures will either have UPEX, or in some instances they even have small amounts of spark. Now you may already know that you can only hold a maximum of 11 sends at any given time, but the issue is a little bit more complex than that. I'm here on the Upland Guide website that goes into detail about all of this topic, but I'm going to explain to you a couple of the highlights here so that you're not confused. You can click the link in the description below to read up more on this topic. But as I mentioned, you can hold 11 sends at any given time. That doesn't mean that that's the maximum number of sends that you can use during a day. For people who treasure hunt, they typically use more than that. And depending on the city, you can use anywhere from 40 to 80 sends in one day. Now, it is true that you do get sends from Upland, but that isn't true in all instances. If you have less than 3 sends, after 24 hours, Upland will provide you with more sends in order to bump you up to 3. So if you run out of sends, you don't have to worry too much, because in 24 hours later, you will get 3 sends from Upland. But if you never dip below those 3 sends, let's say you start out with 11 sends today and you use 5 of them, taking you to 6 sends. You come back in tomorrow after 24 hours and you're still going to have 6 sends. You are not going to be given 3 more sends by Upland. Only in the instance where you go below 3 sends will you get more sends. So you always have to be on the lookout for these paper airplanes in order to collect them. Now, one of the main issues that people ask me about is that they always get stuck on 9 cents. They can't seem to get more than 9 cents, and every time they look for another paper airplane, they're only getting 1 cent. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the video, I said that you can find anything from 2 to 6 cents in an airplane, and all of a sudden people are only finding 1. There is a logical explanation for this, and for that you have to really understand how these sends work. So I mentioned before that if you dip below 3 cents, after 24 hours, Upland will give you 3 cents. So if you dip below those 3 cents and start climbing your way back up to collect your maximum amount of cents, it makes sense that you won't be able to reach 11 cents. After 24 hours, Upland will need to give you more cents in order for you to reach those 11. So that's the reason why you're going to be stuck at 9. After the 24-hour time period is up, you will be given more cents and end up with the maximum being 11. I hope this has cleared up any confusion that you've had around the topic of cents. If you have any further questions, feel free to write me below in the comments. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and check out some of these other videos learning about everything you need to know about the Upland Metaverse.